What's up guys, Daxter here, and I wanted to make a companion video to the first Starbound guide that I had made, which went over the full facts of Tier 1, basically everything that you needed to do to survive Tier 1 with less pain, because you still have pain, don't get me wrong here, this game is still going to cause you a little bit of frustration, I kid you not, but this video is to aim to try to limit that as much as humanly possible, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now remember, this is still beta, so any and everything I say is subject to change, so I just want to point that out. Now, the first thing I wanted to talk about is actually weapons. Now, though I mentioned weapons fairly briefly in my last video, and they changed a lot of stuff. Now, the actual mats that you need to make the weapon have not changed what the stats on them have. For example, DPS is now here. This is what actually replaced armor penetration that was on weapons previous to the last patch. Swing speed and swing damage per swing has not changed, but now you have DPS. And the way DPS is calculated, it takes your damage per swing and multiplies it by your swing speed, and that's how you get DPS. So the only real things you're concerned about is your swings per second and your damage per swing. If you're like me and you don't really care about swing speed beyond a certain point, then damage per swing is going to be king as long as the swing speed is above a certain number. For me, it's 1.25. For example, I'm in tier 2 right now, and this weapon that I have right here is actually really good. And since it's got swing speed of 1.26, I do have a faster weapon that's swing speed of 2.13, and this weapon was really nice. But I'm just going to go ahead and give this to a friend of mine because I like this weapon a whole lot better because the swing speed is just perfect and the damage per swing is very good. So I'm cool with 1.2, like I said in my last video, but that can change depending on your preference. But I just want to point out that armor pen is now gone, and it's definitely more simplified. I will say though that I feel a whole lot weaker. For example, in my last video I pointed out about the iron bow one-shotting everything on the beginning planet. That is not the case anymore. it'll two-shot things through in the day and three-shot things during the night. It's definitely not as strong. Like your weapons are not as strong as it was in the pre-patch. I'm guessing that a little bit of tweaking to do with that. Even when I got the iron weapon, I still felt that I couldn't actually one-shot things, or I couldn't damage things as much as I was doing. Like with the iron weapon, then in tier 1 you'll actually one-shot everything, and it's not exactly it's not anywhere near as good as it was before. They're still balancing things out. This is still beta, so hopefully we'll actually become a little bit better warriors later on. But for right now, things are still not as balanced as I would like. Now, there's one glitch with weapons. It seems that though, if you're like me and you're a hardcore MMO player and you know these hotkeys very well, and you swap between your like 1, 2, 3, and 4, you hit those buttons like they were part of an extension of your own fingers, and you're moving at the same time, and let's say you swap to your weapon and then you immediately click to attack, it doesn't do it. It feels like that first attack doesn't go off, and then the actual attack timer, like if your weapon is a 1 second timer, 1 second swing speed I should say, if your weapon is a 1 second swing speed and you hit the button just as you swap, it feels like that 1 second goes over before you can then swing. It's so a little bit of a glitch. I hope this gets fixed. It definitely killed me once or twice, so that's why I'm pointing this out. Just try your best to have your weapon out before going into a fight. That way you're not dying to a stupid non-attacking glitch. The next thing I want to point out is armor. In my last video, once again, I pointed out that leather was the thing to go for, but now it is not. You want to get one piece of leather so you can actually survive on cold planets such as moons and frigid planets such as snow planets, but as of right now, just get one piece of leather just for the heat factor, just so you don't die from cold as quickly. But as far as armor goes, it sucks. It really does. Like, for example, the armor on the leather gear is 2 per. For example, the legs have 2 armor, the chest have 2, the helm only has 1, which really sucks. The copper gear has literally the same armor. And just to point this out, the starting gear that you get, like the very starting gear when you brand new make your character, like the shirt and pants that you're wearing, both have 2 armor. So the leather gear and actually the copper gear are pretty worthless for armor value. So you want to go ahead and just make the copper gear for the sole purpose of making the iron gear, which the iron gear is now the best gear that you're going to be going for in tier 1. And the iron gear, once again, the mats for that have not changed, but I'm going to point it out anyway. To get the legs, you need 12 iron, to get the helm, 20, and to get the chest, you need 35 iron bars. So go ahead and shoot for that. One new thing they did add to armor, though, there is now a health factor, so you can go ahead and increase your health. Some of these armors have a heart on them and tells you how much more health you get. There's still no way to actually check like a physical number of how much health you have at the top left corner. You just still see bars up there. I don't know how much health each bar represents, but hopefully they'll add some numbering later so you can actually see, okay, now I'm gone from 120 health to 130 or something. So you need some sort of way, some sort of easy way to tell that you're making progress. You know, that would be nice. But hey, this is still beta, and you never know what they're going to change. You are actually still not a tank. Even if you have full iron gear, you will still get your absolute butt whooped by just regular monsters. Just regular monsters will sit there and they will kick your butt, especially if you're fighting more than one that are ranged attackers. Yeah, those guys will actually seriously whoop your ass. And it's a bit disappointing. It really is. And before the patch, if you were full leather gear, which of course leather gear is worthless now, but if you were in the best gear for the tier, you didn't have a problem. You really didn't. Monsters on the first level of planets were not going to be much of a problem. But now, yeah, it's going to be rough. It really is. So I'm just warning you right now. This game hasn't really changed in difficulty. They still have some balancing to do as far as the beginning monsters. The starting planets, in my opinion, are still too hard, even with your gear. And I will point this out. I'm going to show you this in a second, actually. That the enemies that you fight, to me, feel harder than the boss. The first boss got nerfed to hell. He really did. Me and my friend took him on, and it just was a joke. It probably took all of 2 minutes for the two of us to kill, and he didn't even do that much damage. So I mean, I'll show you guys that here in a minute. I'm gonna put that full fight video with me and my friend up so you guys can see. But it's a bit disappointing. I actually felt pretty bad fighting this guy because we were just stomping him. We were just absolutely stomping him. So it's like I just kind of really felt bad for beating the crap out of this guy. So all right, I'm gonna go ahead and throw the boss video up so you guys can see that. And I hope you guys enjoy.
You gonna pass me some bandages?
No, I'm sorry. Oop. Sorry.
It's alright.
No, I got you. I just tossed him. Picked it up quick. Holy crap, dude! Yeah, they nerfed this guy. They nerfed him. Stupid thing. Kill the stupid thing that's shooting at me. I missed. Come on.
Yeah, they nerfed the
Oh
shit
yeah,
out
they
of him.
nerfed the crap out of this guy. Although I'm still gonna die though, because I'm not paying attention to my own goddamn health.
I call shenanigans.
Yeah, we're gonna die to those things, man. My weapon hits him for 8, my bow hits him for 6 and 7, depending on how. Oh yeah, they nerfed the crap out of this thing. Dude, regular enemies hurt more than this dude now. Man, they nerfed the ever-living shit out of this guy. Alright, so I guess I just need to change my guide to go for... There he goes. God damn, they nerfed him. Holy freaking shit did they nerf him.
Seriously.
Alright, now that the first boss is dead, I want to help you guys out with the Tier 2 stuff, okay? Now, not really much has changed. Technically, you can actually be in best Tier 2 crafted gear, which is just as good as anything else you're going to find, by the way, right in Tier 1 planets. You don't actually have to leave anywhere, and the reason for that is because of steel. The way steel works is that it takes 1 coal and 1 iron bar, and you can find this right on the starting planets. You find more of it, slightly more of it, I should say, on the Tier 2 planets, but you obviously fighting harder monsters, so if you're not in the best stuff, then you might have a little bit of a problem. Yeah, so go ahead and go for the steel stuff right off the bat. Go for the steel weapons if you can. Don't worry about if you don't have enough steel to make the weapons, because me and a friend of mine actually went into a dungeon in Tier 2 and immediately got really good weapons, so we didn't have to worry about making these weapons. So if you've got the balls of steel, like I know you do, you want to go ahead and go directly to a dungeon in Tier 2 after you've at least crafted the silver gear. Or if you've got bigger balls of steel, you go ahead and just go right with your iron iron gear, which is what me and my friend did because we've got gigantic balls of steel. So we went ahead and just went straight into a dungeon in tier 2 and just basically got some really good stuff too. Like we got some really nice weapons. So that's going to be the way to go. In my opinion, if you really want a good weapon, don't worry about crafting it. Save your stuff, save your crafting stuff, and just go run dungeons. You'll get fantastically good weapons just by running dungeons. If you can't do it by yourself, get a friend. If you really don't, if you're that sad, I'm sorry, you don't have any friends, go ahead and just farm tier 1 planets and go ahead and get iron and coal. You could do it that way. You really can. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way. Absolutely nothing wrong with doing it that way. And that'll get you to where you need to go in terms of crafting the inactive robot. I'm not going to say anything about the inactive robot. Just know that he's there and he's the next boss that you need to kill. And I'm going to go ahead and put up a video with me and my friend killing this guy legitly, because there was a bug where he would actually be stopped by blocks. Like he couldn't walk through blocks or destroy blocks like the first boss can. I don't know if that's changed. I really hope it did, because cheesing the second boss using blocks and attacking things through blocks really wasn't that fun. One thing I forgot to mention, it probably would have been better to mention this earlier, is fall damage. Now before the patch, fall damage seemed non-existent until you hit a certain threshold, and then you would just take a crap load of damage. Like you would just take bulk damage right at the end. It almost damn near killed you, even if you were full health. Now the way fall damage works is that you you fall a certain way and you take a certain amount of damage. Pretty much the same thing like in other games. The only problem with this is that your health pool, number-wise, seems so low that any amount of fall damage seems like you just got whacked for a pretty fair amount. So I would really wish they would turn down the numbers a little bit here. They tweak this just a little bit so that fall damage doesn't seem so detrimental, because you fall a lot in this game. It's like Terraria. It really is. If you fall in Terraria, there's a certain distance you can fall, and it's a pretty large distance in Terraria for that matter. You can fall without really worrying about it. In this game, you fall from almost anywhere, and you pretty much will take you would take a whack. You took a good whack. You know you just took fall damage. So I hope they tweak this. I really do. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope this helped somebody. Leave a comment below, leave a like, leave a subscribe, and I hope you all enjoyed the guide. Take care. Peace.